So it's a windy day in Maui, and I'm going to try flying my Quad H2O quadcopter in this wind, which is about 20 to 25 knots, gusting to over 30. And the copter, flying it down in through this little alley, this driveway, is fairly protected, but the gusts come through, and you can see the quadcopter bouncing around a little bit, getting it kind of stable and feeling out a little bit. But in general, it's not very affected by the wind. I can see the quadcopter tilting sideways pretty radically sometimes, but it holds position pretty darn well. And as we reach the end of this, you can see the trees and the grass being blown around. And when we hit the end of this little driveway with bamboo, it'll start really pushing the copter. But it actually reacts pretty well. I was pretty surprised at the smoothness and the controllability of the quadcopter. It didn't do anything terribly surprising, so I decided to try some maneuvers, try a few moves to see what the effect would be. I want to be able to use this, if possible, I want to be able to use this quadcopter for forming downwinders, which is something we do here in Maui on the North Shore, going from Maliko Gulch to the Kahului Harbor. We get out on stand-up surfboards or in outrigger canoes or surf skis, and we ride these big ocean swells. And I want to get some good video of that. So making certain my quadcopter works well in high wind is part of that. You can see the palm trees blowing around down below. Not too well from this angle, but what I'm doing here is flying pretty high, getting up into the serious wind, and then trying just simply putting in a bunch of rudder and seeing how the change in body angles and the rotation of the arms affects stability. And the good news is it doesn't affect it very much. That's my house down there, the one with the blue roof. It's a pretty, you can see our garden is more in the jungle variety compared to what most folks have around here. Most folks like to get to have a good belt of clear around them. We like the jungle effect. So, and then down below there you see some black tarp that's keeping the grass from growing up in front of photovoltaic array. So the quadcopter is behaving pretty darn well. I'm not having any trouble controlling it. It's bouncing up and down a bit when the real heavy gusts hit it, and it compensates. The copter is tilted quite a bit. You really can't see that very well here, but it's angled into the wind probably about 10 degrees all the time. And but it's remaining pretty controllable. It's behaving itself very nicely, and I don't want to try anything too radical. But it's doing well. I'm not using the FPV today. I managed to toast my video screen and don't have a backup for it. Here in Maui, pretty much everything we get is bought online and shipped in. And I made the mistake of not electing fast delivery. And so I've been waiting about 3 weeks for a new video monitor to show up. So that's about all that's interesting about this. I really, I bought this thing because of the waterproof nature of it. My other quadcopter quadcopters, if I took them up in this wind, they would probably blow away. I might be able to control them, but it would be very difficult. They'd be zooming all over the place, just trying to keep them, trying to get them stabilized. I think the body shape of this H2O quad helps a lot, and then the autopilot. I put it into manual mode for quite a while. Quite a bit of this flying was in manual mode. Then I also put the autopilot on, the GPS and GPS hold, and went up and down with the GPS on, and it behaved pretty well. And you can see the kind of gusts going through here, and you can see the quad tipping a little bit as it goes past those holes in the bamboo. And but it's holding position pretty well. The stability is pretty remarkable given the conditions. There's not a lot of things I'd feel comfortable flying in those conditions today. So that's about it. We'll take a little tour. Our gardens are off to the left. I'm a pretty avid stand-up paddler, downwinder, surfer. I do a little bit of windsurfing. I have done some kite surfing. I'll probably have to get back into that. And a little bit of outrigger canoe paddling. And all the other stuff you can do in Maui. But Maui is a pretty sporty place. There's a lot to do there. But recently I buggered my shoulder up, so I'm kind of on the injured reserve list. So I'm playing around with a little bit more sedentary stuff, including this quadcopter. You see the kind of wind I'm dealing with there. And that roof is shut pretty. That board in the front is my downwind board. That's a 17.5-foot hollow carbon fiber stand-up board. And the ones just past it, it's kind of a old school, that's a hollow carbon fiber surfboard, but I bought it more for its downwind and open ocean paddling. That's good all around board. Then underneath that there's a couple of other surfboards. So I'm just going to bring this in here and land it. It's my wife's Chevy Volt. Great car. So that's about it. We'll drop it in and charge it back up.